finally came to see me. I thought you were planning on letting me rot in here.
Hello and welcome, Whovians, to a brand new episode of Musings of a Pudding Brain. I'm Adam.
What's going on, everybody? It's Rebby.
And the internet is amazing. I love you all. This week on Musings of a Pudding Brain, we are jumping right into Fourth Doctor.
Mr. Tom Baker.
It's been a while since we saw the Master.
Yes, it has.
Sadly,
at this point within continuity.
Yeah. Sadly, due to the previous passing. And, but, you know, another gentleman has taken over the role as the Master. So, The Deadly Assassin, it was originally aired from October 30th of 1976 until November 20th of 1976. 4 episodes. They were broken up weird on the recording that I have for it. There was no intro, no ending until
no recap, really.
No, other than the very first episode and the very last episode. That's it. Yeah.
But it worked out.
Yeah.
I don't think we missed anything.
No, not at all. So we have Tom Baker as the Doctor, and Peter Pratt as the Master.
Now, is he going to play the Master continuously? Because
no.
So this is just a one-time thing?
Yeah, we get somebody else the next time we meet the Master.
All right, fair enough.
Yeah. First of all, that was it was a terrible mask.
I thought it was just a creepy mask. It was like a rotting skull.
Oh yeah.
You know, like his body is like this. It's either his skin is melting off or like trying to come back. And it's
little of both at the same time.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, it was my problem. The fact the mouth never moved.
It kind of jiggled.
Yeah,
almost
yeah.
as the best way to put it. Like it wasn't like it wasn't like two separate pieces and like with a lower jaw and an upper jaw. It was just like one whole piece, and as he's talking, it's kind of flexing, I guess you could say.
A little bit.
Like there's movement, and it's supposed to show that he's talking, but I don't know. It could have done better if they just did it in 2 parts.
Yes. Well, another cool thing, the Master. Well, we find out that the Master is dying. You know, clearly you can see it from the way he looks.
Yeah, he's at the end of his regeneration.
No more regenerations for the Master.
Nope.
And I was just like, okay, well, that's pretty cool. You know, good way to explain it. I don't know why someone would make a decision that they were basically going to be almost killing off the Master at this point.
Especially since he hasn't been around for such a long time.
Yeah, it's been a couple of seasons since we've seen him.
Yeah.
So why just randomly decide to kill him off, or whatever you're going to do with this story? Another cool thing: no human companion for this episode. No companion at all.
Yeah, no companion. But you do see a lot of Gallifrey, as it was in like all the pomps and circumstance and how that society acts.
Yeah.
And you can kind of see like where the Doctor, why he's so uppity.
Well, not just that. Why he does the things that he does.
Yes.
You see that, you know, he has completely rejected the lifestyle of a standard Time Lord.
Yeah.
And instead he's
rogue.
He just wants to be the bum that, you know, putts around in the universe and randomly tries to help out now and then.
Yeah.
So yeah, I liked the voiceover at the beginning of the episode from Tom Baker.
Was that Tom Baker doing the voice? Oh, okay.
Yeah, that was Tom, and it was like, all right, that's pretty cool. Because
it was very Star Wars-esque. It's the feeling I got.
Which is funny because this is like the year before Star Wars. So, I mean, there's definitely an influence out there from some other bit of cinema or media in general that they had picked that up from.
Well, you know, George Lucas would never say that.
Actually, he has admitted that there was a number of influences into Star Wars, and they're almost all. Well, I mean, he has those influences, and then the Indiana Jones movies. Those had major influences from, like, what did he say? It was from like the B adventure movies of the 30s and 40s when he was growing up as a kid.
Yeah.
But yeah, Remy, you mentioned this to me. You leaned over and was like, dude, the guards. They look like Mega Man with a cape. Explain that to me.
Okay, so you remember the Mega Man costume?
Yes, the blue.
He's blue. So like their uniforms were red. However, the way the helmets were set up, it was a helmet and it had like this weird forefront
Diamond.
thing. It was
Speed Racer.
yeah,
mark.
it's hard to explain, but like if you ever look at the Mega Man helmet, and it looks very similar. And
Basically, picture the Mega Man helmet red.
yeah,
That's it.
and lots of poofy stuff,
Yeah.
some stripes here and there, and a cape.
Yeah.
It was like 80s before it was the 80s.
It was. Yeah, it was something special. I will say that there was a lot of
There was a lot of poofy stuff going on.
theatrics to the costume.
Yeah, the master, like he had the mask and everything, but other than that, he was in this big, huge shroud.
Yeah,
like,
that was
just
pretty cool.
Yeah, the doctor, you actually see him not you know Tom Baker's doctor. You see him without the scarf and without his jacket and
No
without
jacket,
his hat
no hat, no scarf.
for most of this episode.
What?
And what is he wearing? He's wearing like knee-high boots
Yep.
and a poofy pirate shirt,
Gotta love that poofy pirate shirt.
and he was looking very, very swashbuckling.
It was the deep V. That there is something special about any man that can pull off a deep V like that.
Well, the DV should really just be held for either far-flung space or, voyages upon waters deep.
Okay.
That's how I see it.
That's
I don't wanna
really
see- I
the
don't-
only places that it should be allowed.
Yeah, I don't want to see this shit at the beach. I don't want to see
Nope.
this shit at the mall.
Nope.
I don't want to see it at a coffee shop, even though I don't drink coffee.
Poofy shirt with a deep V at a coffee shop.
I just don't want to see a deep V.
We're gonna bring that back.
No. No, you can try, and I will mock you every step of the way, but...
Okay. Damn it. Anyway, so, once again, we do see that the Master's changed. Clearly, there has been a regeneration of sorts, or a breakdown of the current regeneration at this point with the Master. We're only shown this like random figure in black for a long time.
Yes.
And right away that this figure in black that we first see talking with the Master, right away it was total giveaway. You're like, yep, that is a high-ranking Time Lord who's working with the Master. And
See, at first I didn't think that. At
Really?
first I thought it was just a lackey, like some kind of guard who had some access.
no,
And then, but as it went on, it's just like, okay, whoever this is like higher and higher and higher up on the scale of things.
no. What I saw was a total Master apprentice moment where the Master is too scarred to be the face anymore. So instead, the apprentice is the one that goes out and does the bidding of the Master.
Does all the heavy lifting.
Yes,
Okay.
and does it in a way that nobody sees what's really going on.
Yeah.
And I was just like, okay, well, that's cool. I wonder who it's going to turn out to be. I don't know about you, but throughout this episode, I didn't try to figure out who the Master's second person was until it was finally revealed.
Yeah, once it was revealed, and like you could actually, because he had a mask on, but it was like kind of form fitting. So it's
Yeah.
like, okay, it looks like it's this person just because you've seen him a couple times before, and it's the same facial structure.
Facial structure, the voice is very much the same.
Yeah, but past that, like I wasn't trying. I mean, it was like a fairly, a little bit of a whodunit, a little bit of political episode.
I liked the fact that there was a whole lot of mystery going on.
Yeah.
And the chess match between the Master and the Doctor.
Yeah, lots of back and forth, and normally I'd be the kind of person trying to figure it out in my head, like who's doing what. But since there's so much going on and it's taking place on Gallifrey, I was just trying to like take in like the style of clothes that Gallifreyans had, how their system is set up, how their society is set up, and everything like that. Pretty much, it just seems like a bunch of pompous assholes.
Well, yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And we the more times that really the more interactions that the audience gets with Time Lord Society, with the High Council, the more you realize that they don't care anymore.
Yeah, which is
Other
weird
than-
because like before it all went, kerplunk.
Yeah.
They had Time Lords out there going around and investigating. What's
They
the other-
weren't interacting. That's the big key.
I'm sure they still have ones who are out there watching stuff and observing and everything
Yeah.
like that, which is like still says a lot for like they base their society upon like looking into things and investigating and whatnot. But
Yeah, and
it looks like after a while they're just like we're not going to interact.
Yeah, and they eventually get to the way that we see them now, which was a society that cares more about themselves than helping other societies
Yeah.
to advance. And clearly, it's just one of those that like they've become so full of themselves that they're like, well, we're the engineers of time travel. We're the engineers of time. We don't care about anyone else. Oh, but there's the bad guys, the Daleks, and we're gonna keep an eye on them, and we're gonna fight them. But
Well, the dogs,
other than that, nope.
technologically the dogs were on the same level as the Time Lords, and the Daleks were really going to threaten everybody's existence, including the Time Lords. And it was just like, you know what, this threat is too big for us to ignore and let the less advanced civilizations try and handle on their own.
Right.
Yeah, it's kind of it's almost like the Time Lords had their own prime directive.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like,
They're more dicks about it.
yeah, exactly. But like every other episode of Star Trek was like,
Oops, we interacted with
yeah,
them.
let's forget about the prime directive.
And that's what makes the Doctor what he is that he's willing to step forward and he's willing to expose himself
Yeah.
just to save the day.
Yeah.
But yeah, I thought it was a pretty cool moment, the assassination of the president.
Yeah. The opening of the episode is the Doctor's in the TARDIS. He's flying around, and he gets a telepathic message, and he sees the president of the Time Lords being assassinated, and he's like, "This is a pre."
It was a telepathic message.
Yeah, and
Precog a
yeah,
little bit.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Premonition. That's
Yes,
what I'm looking
thank
for.
you.
Premonition. I knew pre was in it. So he decides to go back to Gallifrey, and since he's kind of pretty much exiled from there,
Yeah.
he had to sneak back, but he was caught, or not caught, but they knew he was there. Alarms went off and whatnot.
It was pretty much an illegal landing.
Yeah, and turns out that it is Presidential Resignation Day, and I guess what happens is that the president of the Time Lords, after his run is over, he chooses who his successor is going to be.
Yeah.
And it's a big ceremony and everything like that. There's cameras abound and reporters and everything like that, or at least in this case, one.
Well, it's weird though. Regarding the ascension to the presidency.
Mm-hmm.
The way that I've picked up through books and other material outside of just the episodes, I found that there is the president, the retiring president, usually gives their suggestion as to who the next one should be.
Oh.
There's still an election that happens, and they've said that plenty of times that the person who has been nominated
Mm-hmm.
will be the only person that runs.
I see.
So it's one of those that it's like, okay, well, the people just accepted
Is
that this was going to be the next leader.
semi self-fulfilling prophecy
Um,
in a way.
Not truly a monarchy,
Yeah.
but definitely, and it's not truly a democracy either. But they have an open vote, which they clearly do acknowledge.
Yes. But like as a society, it's just like if it's nominated, we're gonna go for that.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. So so the Doctor lands on Gallifrey, and he's sneaking about, and he sneaks into the area where the ceremony is going to happen.
Panopticon.
Yes, that's what I wasn't going to try and say it. And
Really?
Okay. No. And he knows that they know that he is running around.
Yes,
Yeah.
because he left them a note.
Yep. He was able to sneak out of the TARDIS just past the guards and let them know, like, the president is in trouble.
Seriously.
Signed the Doctor.
He left them a note. He was just like, "Hey guys, it's nice that you stopped by, but I have to go save the president's life.
Yes.
If you could also let the other guards know that this is that this needs to be done as well, it would be greatly appreciated. The doctor.
Yep. So he's in disguise. Oh, and come to find out, we also learned that the doctor is from a very prestigious clan or class of people from Gallifrey.
Yeah, it's a chapter.
Yeah.
But at the same time, they're kind of looked upon as being,
Uppity, bougie,
well, that
clicky,
and-
closed
yeah.
off,
Yeah,
dickish.
yeah, dickish.
A doctor.
Yeah,
Okay.
I don't. Do you see the doctors ever being a dickish?
A bit.
No.
A bit.
So he insults everyone he meets.
Yeah. Well, you know what? It's not being cocky if you can prove it.
I know.
Yeah.
Very true.
To
Very
a
true.
point.
He can do it.
Yeah. So yeah, he's in disguise. He's hiding there, and then he realizes that the perfect spot, from his memory of the premonition, the perfect spot is going to be up where the cameraman is. So he goes up there, and there's a gun.
Yeah, there's no one else up there.
Yeah. Well, it's a glass rifle, pretty much is what it looks
I-
like. It was kind of
yeah.
cool looking, but
It was a decent design. It was
a
weird.
Yeah. So he picks it up, and he realizes that this is the vantage spot that I saw, and then he looks down, and there's somebody in the crowd amongst the president who has a gun. So he goes and aims and shoots, misses the president and the assassin, the would-be assassin, and the assassin shoots pretty much at the same time,
Yep.
and the president goes down.
Yeah.
And then that's when all the wheels start turning for the doctor, like,
That
something is
really,
afoot.
that is the entire setup for this episode, and it's absolutely it was a brilliant setup.
Yep.
And I like the fact that was out of the 4 episodes, that was half of an episode.
Yeah.
Was just the setup, and then the actual investigation starts.
What was that movie with Harrison Ford and Tommy Lee Jones? The Fugitive.
Fugitive.
Remember number 2 with
there-
Wesley Snipes?
U.S. Marshals.
Yes, it's kind of like the setup for that.
Yeah, there was a lot of setup in that movie.
Yeah, but just like for Wesley Snipes' character taking that shot,
Yeah.
or better yet, not American Sniper, I Sniper? No, Sniper. Shooter. That's what it is.
Shooter.
Yes.
Sniper is a completely different movie, and there was,
Yes, it is.
if I remember correctly, at least 2 sequels to it.
Yeah, Tom Bergeron was in one.
Yes.
If not 2.
I know. Anyway,
It's kind of like behind enemy lines. Like, why did you make a sequel to that?
and then make a sequel to that one. Why are we doing this? Anyway, yeah. So, doctor's framed. The president is killed, and we move very, very quickly into the trial.
Yes.
And
I also want to point out at
Oh, yeah.
this point, somewhere within this point of this episode, somebody says "frel." Like, what the frel?
I did not catch that at all.
Dude, if you didn't, I should have had you rewinded that a few seconds.
Okay.
Now,
Well-
if anybody watches Farscape, you'll know that frel is the same thing as frack in science fiction. It replaces the F word. And it was just kind of cool to they actually said, one of my favorite sci-fi substitute
Non-swear word?
Yeah, pretty much. I was like, sweet.
All right.
40
So-
years before the show, the other show that I watched, it was in there.
In other words, that would mean that there was a Doctor Who reference in Farscape.
Yes.
I mean, absolutely tiny,
No,
but there's a possibility.
They said it a couple of times.
Well-
But Farscape was actually a British / New Zealand, not Australian / British New Zealand show. So
Yeah.
you never know. You never know.
Maybe. So the Doctor uses a legal. I laugh at this because he's in the middle of a trial and he uses what's basically the lamest gotcha card I have seen in science fiction for a very long time, where the Doctor just decides to name himself a candidate for president so that he's getting out of his trial, or
Yep.
more accurately, delaying the trial.
Because what they did, the president was killed, the Doctor gets arrested and is being tortured and interrogated, or advanced interrogation techniques, whatever.
Basically, it was,
Yeah.
hey, I'll stop beaming this ray at you that causes discomfort. If you just admit to it, I'll stop beaming you with this
Yeah.
discolored light of discomfortment.
So yeah, he invokes, what was it, Article 17?
Article 17.
Names himself as a nominee for presidency, and because of that, he's able to, delay his trial.
Yeah.
Which gives him time to investigate himself.
Yes, which, for the rest of the episode, this is what he's doing. He has, it's him, the keeper of the Matrix.
No. Yes.
It's a Matrix. The Matrix is a collective of the imprint of previous Time Lords, their minds, just before they died.
So that way,
So it's-
all their knowledge can be held on to.
Held on to, used for teaching future generations, for history, stuff like that. I mean, wonderful, wonderful idea. I think that's really awesome. So he's the overseer of the records, basically. He's one of the investigators. Then was this guy the head of the guard?
Yeah,
other guy?
I would say though.
Do you remember his name?
No, do you remember his title?
Neither one.
Oh man, I thought you were gonna write that down.
I didn't, but
It was close to Chancellor. I remember that one.
No, it's not. It's not that. But there is the internet. We can use the internet. One moment. And yes, the internet has told me that it's Castellan. Thank you, internet.
On behalf of the internet, I want to tell you you are welcome.
And Castellan ends up being 1/3 of the investigating crew with the Doctor.
The Scooby-Doo troop, pretty much.
Yeah, I mean, it was pretty cool that, they ran over the scene. They showed that the weapon was way off site, so he wouldn't have been able to do anything about it anyway.
Yes.
Also,
and the chalk outline.
yeah, and the chalk outline of the Lord President. It included his cape and the headdress. Like, there was it was a chalk outline of a man wearing a very wide headdress and a cape.
Imagine you will, if the Pope also dressed like the Pope and Liberace and was assassinated, and
They just outlined the costume.
Yeah, cape and headdress and hat and all that, and was outlined in the chalk. That's what it looked like, and I thought it was quite ridiculous and very funny.
It was awesomely ridiculous, though. It was a moment that, when it shows up, you have to chuckle for a second. You're like, okay, all right, that was pretty funny. Yeah. Then we, this is kind of the moment that we get cemented with knowledge that this melty face character is the Master.
Yes, a wet Skeletor looking thing.
That's a really good swampy Skeletor look that he's got going on.
Yeah, that's how it was going down.
We so up at the camera again, the journalist is pulling out the records or the tape or whatever you want to think of it.
Yep, because all of a sudden the camera technician is missing.
Yes. And when he pulls that out, he discovers the camera tech.
Yes.
Which has been shrunk down, much like the Master has killed other people in the past.
Bum, bum, bum.
And I think that was a pretty cool moment where it was like, oh yeah, if you didn't really know that this character that you've seen a couple of times really is the Master, here's the big clue.
Yeah. And plus, like, the other times you've seen him in his lair or whatever talking to his henchmen,
Yes.
he is referred to as Master or and whatnot. But the thing is, like, it doesn't feel solid enough like it could be the Master, even though they're on Gallifrey.
Yeah.
It almost feels like this guy is just calling him Master just because, he's the one in charge.
Correct.
It's not gonna be like, hey, what's up, boss? What we doing now?
That would be hilarious, though.
I don't know if I'll be able to handle that in the Doctor.
No.
Even in Tom Baker's run, or Sylvester.
Sylvester McCoy.
Yeah, even his run.
Oh man. So yeah, we try to. This is pretty much where the Doctor decides that the only way to investigate what happened with the Matrix, because it turns out that there's some irregularities in it, and the Doctor decides to dive into it head first. Literally, head first. And yeah, and the best part is the fact that they have the bed, the hookup, right there.
Well, at first it was just like, the guy who's in charge of making sure that the Matrix is running as smooth and he's in charge of the records and whatnot. He's pretty much just saying that, like, nobody has like messed with the records or altered them or messed around with them or anything like that, or messed around with the machine at all. And
Yes.
then, but it's like the Doctor's just like, I'm going to have to dive straight into it, and plug my brain into it. And the guy's just like, well, nobody's ever done that before. I don't know what would happen. It's nigh impossible. And he's like, but we must do it, and I know I can do it because I'm the Doctor. And the guy pushes the button, and the bed comes out.
Yeah, like
And at first
they
I'm just
had
like,
it here.
And maybe I'm just thinking, like, you know what, this guy could just be really dedicated to his job. Maybe he just needs to, and he's older, so maybe he like needs to take. Maybe he's there like all the time and just like takes a cat nap occasionally.
Yeah.
For an hour or two. But he stays until like 2:00 in the morning and goes home and sleeps for a few hours and comes back at like 8:00 in the morning and does it all over again.
Yeah.
But then there's the hookup for the brain part.
Yeah, that's all right there.
But nobody's. But then he's just. It was kind of funny because like everything that they're saying is like you shouldn't do this, but it's done on a regular basis whenever a Time Lord is about to die.
Yeah.
But
They put a living brain to hook up to the machine, to the Matrix.
yeah,
And then they just dive in and allow themselves to die off. And it's like, well, so what you're saying is if you can get back, you're perfectly fine?
yeah. I mean, it just seemed like, wouldn't it be really cool if you could just like go into this whole depository of knowledge,
Yeah.
while you're awake and just float around and like learn stuff, like the training room in the Matrix. You figure they'd be smart enough to pull that off. I mean, like, hey,
You would think so.
yeah, books and stuff is cool.
Instead,
but like you can have like a virtual reality knowledge depository.
Yeah, the problem is, because we do see them use it later on,
Yeah,
it seems to be just basically like an audiobook of history. You're like, and so did this on such and such date. And you're like, well, that's really cool. Can we hear it from them? And they're like, no.
but I can tell you what color underwear they were wearing.
I can give you every detail in their memory, but I have to be the one to tell you.
Down to
No.
the minutia.
Now, if it
And
was,
it was purple with
Purple
pink,
polka dots?
with pink polka dots
God.
and a lime green waistband, silk, very comfortable. The length was right. There was enough room in the crotch.
Remy.
It was.
No, if it was Morgan Freeman that did the narrating, I wouldn't care.
And this pair of underwear had just enough breathability to be comfortable.
You are not nearly
There
cool
was-
enough.
There was sway. There was support. and everything just moved on just fine.
Okay.
Okay.
Wow. Where did we go on that one?
I don't underwear. I need a date.
Yes. Yes. So we find out that the Master is completely in control of the Matrix, which the way that the overseer of the Matrix was talking, that like no one person could survive in there, and the Master, well, is total control over it because,
Well, the Master is also very smart, and he's apparently smarter than the guy who runs the machine.
yeah, I know. And clearly that guy's been doing his job for a long time.
And plus, the Doctor also stated like the technology that the machine is based off of is actually, compared to some other races, it's
Yeah.
old,
It's
outdated.
antiquated.
There we go. That's what I was trying to say.
Yeah. So
Stop taking my words, yo.
the Master is clearly in control, and he is just fucking with the Doctor.
Keeps fucking with my man, dog.
I know.
He's fucking with my dog, man.
Yeah, I mean, the first one we get is a samurai, and then
Yeah, yeah. He's actually in the Matrix, like in the wilderness, and probably like the same backdrop that's used in every outdoor Doctor Who episode.
it looked like a unused quarry.
Yes.
Yeah, starts to fall down a cliff, throws went in and didn't have the scarf, and then suddenly had the scarf once he was there.
Yeah.
But not his coat or his hat.
I think that's cool. I think that's
Whatever.
fine. Like every time there's an internal monologue with the Batman, Bruce Wayne also calls himself the Batman.
He should.
He does.
Oh, okay, that's good.
Yeah.
Because he is the Batman.
No, he is Batman, not
He-
the Batman. He is Batman.
So
Batman.
then we get a random surgeon. Where did you catch that? How the transition?
I did. Doctor fell off the cliff.
Okay.
Because of the samurai, and next thing you know, he's strapped down, still outside, but strapped down. There's a few bits of medical equipment, and then there's this guy in a mask with this huge, syringe.
Yeah, that was a huge needle.
Yeah, and like the gauge was big, but like also the I don't know what you call it, where the tube was big as well. And this is like the classic old school, like you put this into an autoclave to clean it kind of syringe.
Wow. Yeah, we got that, and then clowns.
For some people, clowns are scary.
Yeah, lots of the master laughing
Yeah.
coming through from everywhere.
Oh, eyes on a cliff.
Eyes on a cliff.
Like the hills have eyes, literally.
Yeah. World War I plane.
Oh yes, the Red Baron-esque kind of thing.
Yep. They chased the Doctor around for a while with that.
A la Bird on a Wire.
Yep. A big ass fake spider.
That was, I wish he actually did fight the spider.
That would have been hilarious.
That would have been good. I mean, like, the spider was as big as his head, but, like, if it was a giant spider... I mean, like, if you think about it, like, the Doctor has been around and
Dude,
seen a bunch of stuff.
You fight a spider the size of your head.
Yeah, I've done that.
Oh.
Well, you don't like
yeah.
spiders?
No, I don't.
They're
I try to
just-
leave them alone.
They're just 8-legged, mostly poisonous caterpillars.
Exactly. And fuzzy insects weird me out, too.
What about the fuzzy caterpillar?
uh,
Really?
yeah. Yeah. Oh, that's weird.
Have you seen a picture of the Peruvian poodle moth?
The one that has like a 6-inch things coming off from it?
Sure.
Yeah, that thing's scary.
Okay. I have a friend that you would get along with.
Oh, God. Oh, that's just weird. Oh, anyway. Oh, sorry.
Can't wait to get a pet tarantula.
Yes. Don't let it out. I'll step on it.
Well, I'll leave it here.
It will be dead.
I will bring in enough food.
No. I'll kill it.
Why would you do that?
Because
What happens when we get a real office?
you are not allowed to have spiders in the office.
What if we have enough room where like we each have our own office? No.
No.
Snake?
No pets.
No pets.
No pets.
Turtle?
No pets.
Goldfish?
No pets.
Friggin' sea monkeys?
No pets.
What if I know a girl who's really into being like tied up and left in a closet?
She's technically not a pet.
Good. We'll put her through a security vetting process and give her a key.
Yes.
Yeah.
But she's not a pet.
Obviously, I'm not a sicko.
But yeah,
I'm just accommodating. That's all.
you're just living up to her wishes.
I'm a giver.
So yeah, the final test, whatever it is that the Master sends at the Doctor, is a big game hunter,
Yeah.
which turns out when we go back to the real world on Gallifrey,
Mind you, like the Doctor's only spent like 4 or 5
4
minutes.
or 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Like we get almost one entire show in the Matrix, and that's only in real world 4 to 5 minutes.
Well, like they said it's like virtual reality, but they also equated it to a dreamscape.
Yeah.
And time is different inside of dreams. We all know that from
Inception.
No, I was gonna say
Wow.
Friday the
Wow.
13th.
Wait, what?
Friday the 13th.
No.
Okay, the first one. And the first one, when Johnny Depp dies, right? She's asleep for like 10 seconds. And then.
You mean Nightmare on Elm Street?
Nightmare on Elm Street.
Yeah, that's why I was like.
Friday the 13th, Nightmare on Elm Street. Yeah.
No. Okay.
Sorry.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that time moves differently in there than outside. Yeah.
Yeah.
Inception does a better job of it. Wow. I do a terrible sound.
You do a terrible everything.
I do.
Can we move on?
Maybe. Hey, you went off track for a good long time.
But I'm funny.
Looking. So we get the big game hunter. The doctor defeats him there's a lot of back and forth between the two of them for a while, where clearly the doctor is the prey and the hunter is hunting him.
Yeah, and the doctor is fighting back, but the master keeps like asserting his power over this world. Like the doctor gets wounded, and he's going through this mantra, just like, I reject this reality, I reject this reality. And then he's healed, and he's like, aha, I figured out the trick. And then the master just, brings the hammer down pretty much,
yes,
so to speak, on his grip of this form of reality, and the wound is back. So now it's like the doctor has to like keep hobbling through everything.
Yep. Slowly becomes dehydrated.
Blood sugar is dropping.
He's
his blood pressure is dropping. The heartbeat, brain activity, and like it bounces out every few minutes to the real world and whatnot. And you have the Castellan, the overseer,
Castellan, and the overseer.
Yep, they're monitoring the doctor's vitals and everything like that. It's like, but he's only been in there for 6 minutes, and I fear he might die soon.
Yeah,
and this, that, and the other.
Yeah, I mean, it was pretty cool. This is where we get the moment where we actually find out who the master's lackey has been.
Yep.
And it's really cool because it's revealed in the dream world first. And that's where, the doctor's like, stop hiding. Just show me who you are. If you're going to kill me, let's do it face to face. And that's when we find out that it's Chancellor Goth.
And it's weird because everybody's assuming that Chancellor Goth, who you did see earlier in the episode, is the one who was going to be nominated for the next presidency.
Yes.
So, did it ever explain why he chose to go this route instead
because his nomination was not guaranteed.
Oh, I see.
He was going to have the master was going to give him all the knowledge. Instead, the master sabotages the Matrix hookup machine.
Yep.
And the Chancellor gets fried. And then the master basically takes some drugs to make it seem like he's dead.
Yep. He's
dead, but he's not dead.
It's like Juliet and Plain Possum together.
Oh, yeah. Yes. It's one of those that, like, you see it happen, and you're like, yeah, clearly he's faking his death, but maybe he's not. But he is. Comes back, gets the 2 of the 3 things that he absolutely needs so he can restart his regeneration cycle or get more regenerations or whatever it is that his true intention was.
Now, while that's going on, you also find out that another chancellor has decided to not only...
Well, it's another member of the High Council.
Yeah, he drops all the charges against the doctor, but he proceeds to have a cover-up of what happened with the chancellor.
Well,
of the chancellor,
he left
Goth,
out some details, maybe embellished a few other ones,
and ignored every fact that painted him in a bad light.
Yes,
yeah,
it's like the Dark Knight when they decided that they were going to make Harvey Dent out to be the hero that Gotham needed, and not talk about the Two-Face stuff.
Yeah. However, it didn't have to go down like this, and
no,
this time around.
But supposedly he had a very stellar record up until literally that moment, and so they were like, maybe we just don't talk about this.
How about you use him as a cautionary tale? Just saying.
That too.
That's my opinion.
But yeah, so the master gets the sash and key of Rassilon. If I understand this correctly, to unlock the Eye of Harmony, and then get new regenerations while destroying Gallifrey.
Yeah, it looks like the Eye of Harmony is a crystallized black hole, and this is
Yeah.
where all the Time Lords get their power from.
Well,
so he was gonna like,
not really power. They're exposed to it, and therefore they don't age.
Yeah.
Basically, and then get regenerations. But that's only because of like there is a couple of things going on, and there has been many explanations.
yeah, it's a little confusing, but thankfully, like if you really try and like think about what had just happened, it's a very small amount of time. So it's not like I was confused for the last half of it. It was
No,
it's like 2 minutes, and you get the gist pretty well that like the Master is trying to do something very complicated to make sure that he keeps living, and he's willing to sacrifice like
the entire every Time Lord.
yeah, every Time Lord, his home planet, and like a huge swath of space.
Yes.
That would wipe out a few other civilizations, in like not the solar system, but like their little corner of the galaxy.
Exactly. And it was pretty cool. Clearly, I kind of missed it, but I know that the Doctor saves the day.
Yeah.
Which clearly everyone knows because the series keeps going and going.
And going.
But I don't actually remember how the Doctor defeated the Master, other than maybe pushed him over.
I think it was kind of one of those things. I think he punched him, moved him over, did all the same switches and bubbles and buttons that the Master
I know
did
that.
in reverse, and then saves the day, and then the Master sneaks away.
Okay. So once again, the Master completely slinks off into the dark. Gotta love that. I do really like the fact that the Master just keeps kind of getting away at the end.
And it's not just like, oh, their back is turned, I'm just gonna step outside this door. It's like, no, like he sees a point where everybody's gonna die, including him, or he can leave and everybody else might die, but at the very least he gets to live another day.
Exactly. Yeah.
One thing I thought was pretty cool. We also hear right around this time frame of the episode, resistance is futile.
Yeah.
I thought that was pretty dope.
I thought that was pretty cool. The Master used that line, and it was pretty. It was like I saw that and I was like, Star Trek, the Next Generation with the Borg and all that. I thought it was a pretty cool moment, seeing that type of line showing up before.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, other than that, at the very end, the Doctor's just told to go home, to go about his business, even though he has stolen property, because they still consider that TARDIS to be stolen.
Yep, stolen, unaccounted for, and technically obsolete.
Yeah, and they're just like, no, go ahead and take it. It's cool, whatever. And then you see over in the corner the Master's TARDIS set up like the grandfather clock. That's one of the ways that I've always remembered it.
Now, here's one thing that always got me. So I'm assuming that the Doctor and the Master both have the same model TARDIS.
No.
They don't.
No, the Master has I know it's a different model, and I think it's a newer model, because they're not able to interchange parts between each one.
Oh, that's right. We did.
But the Master can steal parts from the Doctor's TARDIS. The Doctor's TARDIS, the Type 40, can't use the parts from the Master's TARDIS. So
Gotcha.
Yeah, in that respect, I always think that the Master's TARDIS is
newer. Yeah, kind of makes sense.
And it's pretty cool that way. That, and also his chameleon circuit actually works. So we get the grandfather clock, and that's the Master's face laughing on the front while it dematerializes.
Yep, with the swampy, wet Skeletor look.
Yeah. Remy, this is where the episode ends. Rating?
I'm going to give this a straight... no, not a straight 4, but a 4.2.
Okay.
I'm going to give it a 4.2. Am I being lenient again?
No. You're being just barely better than me.
I'm always better than you.
Oh.
Well, you said I was funny looking earlier. So.
Okay.
All right. So excuse me, a little bit of gas there. I'm all set. I'm good now. Going over the episode, I thought, this is one of the first looks I've ever seen of Gallifrey and an interpretation of it, like from back in the day. One of the original ideas of how Gallifrey would look.
Yeah.
I thought it was very interesting. The costumes are way out there, but
Yeah.
even if you just see the new series,
They still have it.
Yeah, they still have like very grand outfits and costumes or uniforms, whatever you want to call it. So I'll get and you can see the influence and how things have changed. And I thought, I thought it was kind of cool, like how they made it look the same but not compared to what it was originally. It's kind of like whenever you see a good movie, then you realize like, oh, it's a remake of something from back in the day, and then you watch the older one, and it's like this still holds up.
Yeah.
And I like that. I liked how this was a kind of the prodigal son returns kind of episode.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a little bit of a political episode.
But not really.
It is.
There's just enough.
A little bit. There's a little bit of a, kind of like Shooter.
Okay.
Is just a little bit of a political, it's got the political backdrop.
Yes.
But it's an action movie.
Right.
This is a sci-fi adventure with a minor backdrop of political stuff.
Okay. All right.
And not really political, but also like how Time Lord society operated, which I thought was pretty interesting.
Okay.
Not so much in the way of like any special effects or makeup. There was some special effects with like whenever they shot the guns and whatnot, but nothing too special or outstanding. Makeup, I thought a lot of the Time Lords who obviously lived on Gallifrey, and there's a certain type of dress that they all wear.
Yes.
A very particular style. They all looked a little Vulcan.
Yeah.
Which whatever. I think that was just
there was a bit of theatrical makeup to them.
Yeah.
But it was done so subtly that you just accept that they just seem a little shiny.
Yeah, that's one way to put it.
Like that was the only way I could describe it.
Yeah, not quite sparkly, but
no,
a little.
There is a
sheen,
but not like oily.
Yeah,
it was almost metallic,
but not sparkly stripper.
Right. Oh yeah. No vampires going on over here.
No. Yeah. You have the doctor like running around a lot.
Yes.
A lot. And it's kind of nice to see the doctor actually struggling. Like when he's in the Matrix and he's running around like he's like on the verge of dying, and he's still being a badass and whatnot.
Yeah.
And pulled it off pretty well. And that's what I liked about it.
All right.
It's the doctor without using his wits more than anything else.
And you know what? I'm giving it a 4.1.
Okay.
I seriously, we're right on cue this week for a change. For me, major points. Tom Baker, just really,
I forgot to say that.
I don't need anything else. That's the end of my points for
That's
why
it?
I love
That's
this
it?
episode. No.
No, because we can leave it at that, because I think I did pretty good. And you brought
really,
up the one thing I should have said.
Yeah, I agree with you regarding the Time Lord Society.
Yep.
It's cool to see that curtain get pulled back for a moment, and we see a little bit of what's going on. The mystery of this episode. Who's the bad guy? The chess match between the Master and the Doctor. I really liked seeing the fact that really this was a time that the Doctor was completely an underdog.
Yeah, he was
in this
sweating
situation
the entire time.
Yeah, and it was like, all right, there we go.
Have you ever seen the movie Ricochet? With
No.
God, who was the man? Third Rock from the Sun. John Lithgow.
Oh, okay.
John Lithgow and Denzel Washington.
Oh,
Yeah, it's like 1993. John Lithgow is a criminal who gets shot by Denzel Washington, who's playing a cop, and then John Lithgow gets out from prison, and just completely messes with Denzel Washington, like
Oh.
like kidnaps him, drugs him, makes him think he's going insane, about to lose his job and everything like that. Like
All right.
that's a really good cat and mouse chess match kind of movie.
Okay.
And that's what this reminded me of.
All right. Yeah, we have. Oh man, we haven't done the weigh-in yet.
Oh yeah,
And we have one more awesome thing. We're recording this episode on the 9th, the first day of San Diego Comic-Con. You're not going to get it for a little over a week after everything's all said and done. But
however,
we did get some Doctor Who news today, and that's going to be really cool. And yeah, we're going to do the weigh-in. We'll be right back.
do we have to?
Yes, we do.
Damn it.
All right, time for the weigh-in. The one thing that we were trying desperately not to do right now.
Oh, I definitely wasn't, but
Yeah.
I feel better now.
Okay. So
From around the 220 to 215 range, because your scale still seems kind of off.
the 3 range.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, 320 to 315. It said I was at 310. So now I'm liking the scale again.
Okay.
Yeah.
I really hate my scale
Yeah.
because it just told me that I was 242,
Yeah.
which means that since we started doing this, I have gained about 12 pounds.
Ooh.
Yeah, yeah.
We'll see how it goes. We'll see how
But-
it goes.
I mean, I've been doing a lot of working out, so
And, they say
hopefully-
like if you're bigger and you're doing like a lot of muscle work and not just like cardio, you tend to like build up some muscle, and then the fat will go away because you need more. The more muscle you have, the easier it is to burn fat.
okay.
So-
well, hopefully that'll happen
Yeah.
for me.
It should start to balance out.
I guess not. Anyway, Doctor Who news. The trailer just got launched today,
Yes,
July
sir.
9th,
Yep.
and and
Our buddy Ryan is waiting in the wings for us to get done, and he just took a sip of Bud Light Platinum.
and it's clearly terrible.
Yeah, it's
Anyway, yeah, the trailer for season 9 or series 9 just got released with the launch date for the new series.
yep.
I like it. It was pretty cool.
I'm digging it. It finally gave a date as well.
Yes, September 19th. And actually, with our run of catching up with the Master, yeah, we're gonna end the week before that.
And
It's gonna
then-
be really cool.
As a special surprise, can I tell the folks? Can I tell the people?
Yeah. So
So we're gonna have one extra week to fill,
yes,
an episode to fill in between the new series / season that's coming out.
yep.
And the end of our catching up with the Master run. So what we're going to do, we are going to watch and criticize, lambast, impale,
And laugh and laugh and laugh.
cut its head off and put it and stick it on a pike. We're gonna review the Doctor Who movie.
Yes, we are.
Yeah,
We're gonna try to find the good in there, though. We're gonna try to find it for you guys.
I think we always do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we're pretty good at that.
So the trailer that came down, it was
Minute and a half.
a minute and a half. It's awesome, and it gives you so many sneak peeks.
Yep.
So many little flashes of what's to come.
Yeah, it's really just like a bunch of cuts and whatnot with a small narrative in there, but like
Yeah.
it pulls you in.
So it starts off with the TARDIS flying just right across the screen. I'm like, okay, cool. We're in deep space, so you don't see anything else other than stars in the background.
Yep.
We get, as I wrote down, explosions and weird shit in the TARDIS. I couldn't explain it in any other way. There's people diving through doors. There's,
I put really cool looking sets
okay.
because like
There was some nice sets.
yeah, the way the shots were, even for like these second and a half little blurs that are going on, there's still a little bit camera movement because it's from whatever episode, and they're just
Yep.
like putting together what looks good,
Yeah. I mean,
obviously. But
that's what a trailer is. It's
Yeah.
a super cut of what's to come.
yeah, exactly. So but like you see a lot of sets and outdoor background stuff, and everything looks really good. Like this universe has it seems a little bit more than some of the other seasons. This universe feels really solid, like
Yeah.
very tangible.
Yep. Once again, it's still going to be dark, both physically and in spirit, and I liked that. Then we get a quick couple of glimpses of bad guys. We see Zygons,
Yep.
Daleks,
Yes, some of the classics.
but then a lot of unknowns. And I
There's definitely aliens and villains, but it's hard to tell like
if they're an alien culture, or if they're a villain, or what they really are.
some
There's a
random
lot of
some random entity or
yeah.
something.
There's a lot of new.
There's a
in
lot
that
of
clip.
fierce looking characters.
Yeah,
Makeup and design looks really cool. There were some robotic type creatures that were walking around. It
Yeah.
looks like we got some armies. There's going to be some wars going on.
yeah.
Saw Missy.
Yes,
Missy.
we did. And there's actually a very quick clip of Missy and Clara standing next to each other.
Yeah, and like both their heads turn like they're looking at something.
Yeah.
So like I get the feeling like maybe they'll be working together,
Yes, maybe.
or maybe Clara will be a hostage, and the doctor comes down. And it's like, there he is.
But then we get, for me, one of the two good, cool audio clips. And it's the doctor saying, I'm the doctor and I save people.
Yeah,
And I was like, all right. I mean, because, Series 8, we got a doctor who was still trying to figure out if he was a good person or not, trying to figure out his place. And clearly in Season 9, or Series 9, sorry, he's made his decision.
yeah.
And that was the closeout of the trailer. And then we get,
Fades to black, and then it
Fades to
comes
Black.
back.
And then we get, September 19th. We get the launch date. And I was like, yes, awesome, thank you. And then there's a kind of a post-credit scene.
Yeah,
And it's,
Macy Williams.
if we're pronouncing that correctly, I'm sorry if we are not.
I'm pretty sure it is.
I don't watch Game of Thrones, sorry.
Macy Williams, who's better known as Arya from Games of Thrones.
I guess so. That's what people tell me.
I've seen a little bit of Game of Thrones, and and I do recognize her. And whenever she's on screen, like, she does a great job. Like, she's a friggin' badass.
So
She is a bamf.
yeah, the clip that we get for her is she pulls back a hood. The doctor recognizes her, and then she goes, "What took you so long, old man?" And then that's it. That's
Yep.
the end of this entire teaser, this trailer. And my appetite has been so whetted for this that seriously, can we skip 2 months now?
Yeah, I'm all moist up in here. Let's fast forward.
Waiting is so terrible.
I thought you were gonna say Such Sweet Sorrow.
No,
Did you
it's
thi-
just terrible.
Did you think about it?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, that's
I
what I
did.
thought.
Okay. Anyway, we're gonna wrap it up here.
Yep.
Ladies and gentlemen, go ahead and follow us on Twitter. We are at 01pod. That's 0, the number 1 pod.
Error.
And same thing over on SoundCloud and on Facebook. We are the 01 Podcast Group. So go ahead and give us a like, follow us, make comments whenever you feel like it, and let Remy know whether or not that was even worth it. Anyway, you guys go ahead and have a wonderful week. In the meantime, always keep your eyes and ears out because you never know when or where the doctor's going to turn up next.
Good night, everybody.
Bye.